Hey, Tech fans, welcome into this edition of the Triumph Spotlight. Today's special Virginia Tech athlete is Sam Tackett, a senior on the Virginia Tech baseball team and has had a hot start to the 2025 season. In fact, he leads the ACC in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging. Sam Tackett joins us next on the Triumph Spotlight. Welcome back to the Triumph Spotlight. I am Nick Brown, and let's introduce everybody around here, shall we? To my right is our lead analyst and columnist here at Tech Sideline, Chris Coleman. Behind the scenes, punching the buttons today is our founder and general manager, out of a weird role for him. And then, of course, across the way for me is our very special guest, Sam Tackett. Sam, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Oh, I'm glad I could make it in.
Well, the 500-foot man right here, folks. This guy hit a 500-foot home run, and I got to revisit that back against Bucknell. Was that all you and muscle, or it was pretty windy that day? So, are you going to attribute that to the wind?
I mean, it was a pretty windy day, but I got a lot of it. So, the wind definitely helped a little bit, but I got it pretty good. That was definitely the best ball I've ever hit in my career. So
everybody talks about the wind in Blacksburg.
Mm-hmm.
That builds in perfectly to my question. What's it like battling that wind as an outfielder? I know everybody understands the perspective as a hitter, but give me the defensive player's perspective.
Yeah, being in the outfield with the wind it's a little different. I remember especially on that day, that was one of the worst wind days that we've had here in Blacksburg in my memory that I have. Like, there were balls, like, if I was in right field, the ball started at 20 feet to my left, I was like going to stay where I was because I knew it was going to come back. So whenever you're running and you're on the move, and it makes it a lot harder on the outfielders. But, I mean, we're used to it. We practice in it, so we kind of use that to our advantage when other teams come in here.
I was about to say, is that an advantage for you guys compared to people that come in and say, whoa, what's up with the swirling wind?
Yeah, I definitely think so because, I mean, there's been plenty of times where outfielders, it's like miscommunication, drop ball that ends up going our way. I mean, we should be able to use that as an advantage just because we deal with it every single day. So.
Every day. Well, let's read off some of your ridiculous batting stats here. You're batting over 500, or you're batting exactly 500, which is actually pretty cool. You're slugging over 900, and on top of that, you're leading the conference in OPS. What is the difference between you last year and this year?
The biggest difference, 1,000%, has been like definitely I was all in my head. I think last year I put a lot of pressure on myself, and not even just last year, but my entire 4 years here leading up to this year, there's a lot of built-up pressure that I had, and so being able to go out there and relax and play tension-free baseball, as I've been saying, has been just a key part of, I think, my success this year.
Is some of it also getting more regular at-bats?
I would say so. That definitely helps, knowing that I'm most likely going to be in the lineup the next day, and you don't have to put as much pressure on yourself because whenever things are going bad, it's like, oh, man, if I don't get a hit here, I won't be in the lineup the next day. So that definitely helps a lot, just knowing that you have like a sort of a leash, and you'll be able to use that to your advantage for the upcoming at-bats.
Well, congrats on your win yesterday over JMU. I believe in your career, you're 4-2 against JMU. And off camera, you're saying that was your first win at JMU in your career. What's it like playing these smaller schools, but in state, and kind of develop a little bit of a rivalry against these schools?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I feel like a lot of kids. I'm not from Virginia, but I think a lot of kids want to go to Virginia Tech, and during the recruiting process, things just don't work out. And so definitely when we play the teams like JMU, Radford, VCU, they got a little bit of an edge to them just because they're not at Virginia Tech. So they're definitely going to play up to their competition knowing that we're coming into town. But it was definitely nice to get my first win at JMU. I remember we lost there in 22. We lost there last year, and those are the only two times that we've played there. But we just haven't been able to pull it out there since I've been here, so it's nice to be able to do that.
No, last night's game went down to the wire.
Yes,
what was it like watching those last couple of JMU at-bats?
After the weekend, I was just trying to, especially in the outfield, I was trying to just build up guys' confidence, just speak good things into existence. I really wasn't too worried going into that ninth inning up one. I knew that we were going to get the job done, and we had the right guys on the mound and out in the field to be able to come out on top.
All right, well, we've got to revisit the weekend series. Not as happy as a memory, but you did hit 2 homers in the win against Georgia Tech on Saturday, but ultimately lost the series 1-2. What did they do to really make it difficult on the offense for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they had some good arms out of the bullpen that made it tough. I thought we did a really good job handling the starters on all 3 days, but didn't make the adjustments that we needed out of the bullpen. I mean, looking back on this weekend, I think we'll be able to learn a lot from it. It's not all bad. I mean, we could have easily swept that series.
Absolutely.
Looking back on it, but we'll be better for it in the future. So just trying to take the mistakes that we learned and trying to play clean baseball from here on out.
Who's the best pitcher you've faced in your
This
time
year?
at Tech? Overall, your whole
my-
career. Yeah. What's your take on that?
I would have to say Andrew Walters from Miami. That I really don't get beat too much. Like, I'll beat myself, I feel like. But I faced him in 21 and in 23. And, I mean, his fastball, the metrics on it were stupid. I mean, I remember in 21, we were playing him 3/4 way through the season, and I think he didn't give up an earned run so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was unreal. There was a couple guys from Wake in 23 that were tough. But definitely the Andrew Walters from Miami, he was by far my hardest at bat.
Now, what about your Tech's own staff as far as Tech's own pitchers?
In my time here,
Yeah.
Drew Hackenberg was always a tough one for me. Graham Fearved, tough one. Renfro's up there. And even like Marciano. I had trouble against Marciano the whole fall and preseason. And he's turned out to be really, really good for us. I think that he's going to be very helpful for us for the next 3 years. So,
Well, back in 2022, I want to shed some light on this weekend series loss. You all started 12-6. You're 12-5 right now, so you have leadway for a loss this weekend with an ACC opening series sweep loss to Georgia Tech. This year you're 12-5, like I said, with an ACC opening series loss. So that means you guys are going to go to Super Regionals this year. That's exactly what that means. Well, let's look ahead a little bit. This weekend you all face NC State, a team that was picked pretty high in the preseason ACC polls, and they've kind of slacked off a little bit. What did the Pack offer to you as a hitter and on the defensive side as well?
yeah, they got some good arms. Out of the bullpen, they have 2 really good arms. They got some veteran guys on the weekend that know how to pitch. But I think we match up pretty good with them. I know their offense hasn't been as productive as people thought that they would be this far throughout the season. But, I mean, they're a good club. They could come out and be as good as anybody in the ACC, so we just got to go out there and compete against ourselves. That's what Coach Sheff has really been developing into us throughout this season so far. It's just like, if we play to the best of our ability, there's nobody in the country that can beat us. So it's not necessarily the team that we're playing or the guy on the mound. It's just, can we play the best baseball that we can?
What's it like being coached by John Sheff?
Oh, awesome. I mean, he understands baseball. He's been around the game a lot. He's a very good manager of people, I think. And he's going to have your back. A lot of people see him getting into umpires, but that's just because he cares so much about us. And it's been unreal just to be able to play for him. And it's really unheard of for a coach, entire coaching staff to be the same for so long. And I've been very blessed and lucky with Coach Elbin, Coach Hansen, Tyson Petersheim, Coach Fecto. I mean, really just everybody to be the same since I've been here. And it's really helped a lot, I think, in my development.
What's Sheff like off the field? I think a lot of people see him as this kind of stoic guy. What's he like at practice or off the field?
Oh, I mean, he's an awesome dude. I mean, sit and during BP, just joke around with him. Even during games, he'll crack off a couple laughs. But I mean, he is pretty. He's all about baseball. That's what he likes, and it's good to have somebody like him as our head coach.
Awesome. Well, let's get into some fun questions here. Are you aware that you have a fan account on Twitter?
I've seen it pop across my notifications, but I haven't given it too much look.
I was wondering if it was one of your teammates just joking around with you, but
I don't think so.
They were tweeting during games, so I was like, I would hope it's not a player. And then let me get this right. Do you know his nickname, Chris?
I do now.
Okay. Well, all right. Let me try to get this one right. You can interrupt me because it's pretty long here. Where does the nickname the heavy vessel of death from the deep, dark hills of eastern Kentucky come from?
Yeah, last year, Carson DeMartini came up with that one. Don't know where the heavy vessel of death came from, but the deep, dark hills of eastern Kentucky, my walk-up song, I had it this year, and I think the previous 2 years, You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive, but it's a remix. And it talks about like the deep dark. It's like in the deep dark hills of eastern Kentucky. Yeah. And so he came up. We were going through it the other day. I think I have like 30 nicknames since I've been here. Just random things like that are just funny. So
well, that was the one that I saw that Carson tweeted out a couple of weeks ago. Well, Canizero corrected him. Correct? Yeah. Well, that was entertaining here. So you attended Lafayette High School in Kentucky. I checked to see if you had any notable alumni that made it to the MLB, and unfortunately, it looks like you would be the second to make the leagues. Do you know who the first was?
Austin Kearns.
Yeah, how about that?
Yep.
I didn't know who Austin Kearns was. Do you know who that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I remember,
okay.
Austin Kearns.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a good player. Did you have a favorite team growing up and maybe an idol?
Not really. I would grow up going to Reds games.
That makes sense.
That's the closest.
You
closest team to
absolutely.
me.
There's a lot of people in Western Virginia, Eastern Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky. Most of them are either Braves fans or Reds fans because of the two closest teams.
Yeah, so I mean, I have some memories going up there with my dad and granddad, going to watch some games.
It's a great park, I've heard.
It's unreal. I mean, I remember what we would do. There was like these $50 like club seats, and you could go up there, and it was all you can eat concessions.
Oh wow!
And you could go inside. So like if it was really hot, you could go inside AC. But that was some of my best memories growing up, was going and do that with my dad. So
that's a really good deal considering food at a baseball game is
I mean, granted, that was probably 10 years ago.
Still. So I went to Braves. I go to some Braves games sometimes. So I was at the World Series a few years ago. It was like $14 chicken sandwiches and like $16 beers and things like that. And I'm like, man, that like when I was a kid coming down here, like the concessions now are more than the price of a ticket used to be.
You just got to go on dollar hot dog night. That's the only way you can afford them right there. So you didn't have a baseball idol like growing up or anybody?
I watched a lot of Derek Jeter stuff. I really liked Derek Jeter as a kid. But I wouldn't say there was anybody who really stood out that I was like, oh, I'm going to model my game after them. It's just how it is.
Gotcha. Well, so you're from Kentucky. I would like to bet that you didn't root for Virginia Tech growing up. Who did you root for?
I rooted for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Okay.
That was my team. I mean, being from Lexington, I'm 15 minutes away from the campus. So I grew up going to Kentucky basketball, Kentucky football games. My dad, he does the play clock for Kentucky football. He's been doing that for the past 10, 15 years. So
cool, man.
I'd have tickets to that, be able to go down on field. That was also that was an awesome experience, just to be able to go down and you just see like the size of these people, like especially when Alabama and Georgia would come in like during that time, like you're looking over and you're like, oh my gosh, like these dudes are massive.
We are not the same species. That's what cracks me every time I see an offensive lineman. I say, how are we both human beings? I noticed on your Instagram that you attended Passion 2024. It's a big convention down in Atlanta. What does your faith mean to you personally, and how do you let that show during baseball?
Oh, it means a lot to me. I think over my time here, really through it started with Ryan Metz. We had started doing like group Bible studies every week. Started out with just like 3 of us my freshman year, and just to see how much that has grown. I mean, now we'll have anywhere from 15 to 25 people.
Awesome. In
our small group stuff. Being involved, I'm involved over at Blue Ridge Church. I do a little bit of stuff with some of the high schoolers over there, and we've been able to have baptisms the past 2 years, so that's just been awesome. But going down to Passion, I went with Christian Martin, and that was a life-changing experience just to be able to go down there. I mean, there's 60,000 college students that are at this event, and just see how much they're in their faith really just encourages you a lot. On the field, it's real. I think it's really helped me this year because it's been like we got shirts from a company called Jesus One at the beginning of the season, and we've been able to wear those. And I have like on my elbow guard and leg guard, I have Jesus One on it. Just understanding like this is just a game. Like the battle's already been won. Like just to be able to comprehend that during a game, it's a little bit tough in the heat of the moment. But at the end of the day, it's just like, I can go, this is just a game. Like, that's all it is. And it's just been really cool to be able to see the development of guys on our team and their faith journey and to play a part in that as well.
What are some of the things you like doing off the field when you're not playing baseball, when you're not going to school?
Yeah, I like to golf. Not the best, but I like to golf, fish. It's a little bit tough out here. I really don't know a whole lot of spots to be able to
Got to get on the river.
Yeah.
I want
That's
a
the best
boat.
way to do it. Smallmouth fishing on the new river. Yeah.
My dad told me a couple weeks ago he was trying to get a charter because smallmouth right now are probably getting ready to get pretty big. So I want to try to do that here soon. But I like just hanging out at the house. I like being outside. That's kind of the main stuff that I like to do. So,
well, let's. You want to tell everybody what your major is?
Yep. So last year I graduated in management consulting analytics, and this year I'm getting a degree in entrepreneurship technology. So
okay,
I will have 2 degrees.
Oh, good for you, man. Good for you. So I was a finance minor, so I understand some of those ACIS classes, and I was not a big fan. Somehow you enjoyed them.
No, I did. I came in as accounting, and I think after my second year I was like, I don't think I can do this.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It's a different math that people don't realize.
I thought about instead of getting the entrepreneurship technology degree to get an accounting degree, and I had to take too many accounting classes. I was like, I can't do this during season.
So, well, baseball obviously is going to end at some point, whether that's 15 years down the line, hopefully. What do you plan on doing post-baseball?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough. Griffin Stieg, I've lived with him for the past 2 years. His parents work at a consulting firm. Incredible. So they were able to kind of hook me up, and I'll be doing some stuff with them here in the near future. So
good for you, man. Well, obviously, NIL is a big cloud hanging over you, got over your shoulder, the Triumph hat. It's crazy, it's scary, but it's also wonderful for you athletes. But how has Triumph, I guess, helped you guys navigate these tumultuous waters?
Yeah, I think them just being able to like be there to like for anything, any questions that we have, because I mean, I really don't know a whole lot about it. I try not to pay attention to all that stuff. They just kind of take like the food off your plate that like you have. That just it's too much like to be able to take in, and they're able to take that part and just kind of make it simple for you and easy to understand. Reminding you about stuff like just little things like that. They just make it a lot easier to navigate all that stuff. So
girl stuff. You want to do a final question, Chris? You want to ask that?
Yeah. What do you want your legacy to be when it's all said and done in Blacksburg?
I just want to be known as a good teammate, somebody who's there for my character off the field, on the field and off the field. But being here for 5 years, like I don't think back to like the 22 team about like. It was awesome being able to host a super regional and stuff, but I remember how people treated me, how I treated other people. So that's kind of been, I thought about that going into the season. It's like, man, I want to be remembered as somebody who could be there for my teammates, who they had trust in me. Just things like that. Just, I mean, it's not necessarily the stuff on the field I want to be remembered for. I want to be remembered for being a good teammate who played the game hard in the right way.
All right. Well, thanks, Sam, for joining us. And folks, tune in to our YouTube channel and the rest of everything we've got coming up for Chris Coleman, Will Stewart behind the scenes, and, of course, the lovely Sam Tackett. Good luck the rest of the season and take care of the Wolfpack this weekend.
Appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.